Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and today I've got one of our most popular videos of the year, the 2020 ArcheryTalk Hunting Bow Shootout. The contenders this year, in the order I received them, are the Mathews VXR 28, the Prime Black 3, the Bowtech Revolt, the Hoyt Axius Alpha, and the PSE EVO NXT 33. Now before we go any further, if you could please like, share, and subscribe, it would help the channel an awful lot. The most common comments I get on the shootout videos are, why didn't you test this bow, or why didn't you test that bow? And I've got a couple of different answers for you. First and foremost, I'm a one-man operation. There's only so many bows I can handle to shoot at a single time for both the hunting bow and the target bow shootouts. I take on what I can take on. Second, as I call all of the major manufacturers and a couple of the smaller guys every year to see who wants to take part, and not everybody does. I totally understand that. They can't say yes to everybody. But, you know, not everybody wants to play in the field, and that's totally understandable. Another option that got in the way this year was COVID-19. I had at least 2 more bows that were scheduled to come this year that never showed up, which I can only assume can be blamed on the production issues caused by the virus. It's also worth noting that any opinions expressed in this video are mine and mine alone. I've been testing all of these test bows all year long for, probably 10 different bows for hunting and target. And these are the opinions I've developed over those months of testing. Yours may differ. Please let me know in the comment section if you've got different results and findings and how you've shot your bows this year. Now let's get to the shootout, and I have broken this down over a handful of categories, each carrying a certain amount of weight in the final decision for my bow of the year. And we're going to start with draw cycle, which to me is probably the most important of all. I actually did a whole separate video on draw cycle for the hunting bows this year to figure out which one was my favorite. And the winner of that was the PSE EVO NXT 33. This wasn't the smoothest draw cycle, that probably belongs to the Mathews VXR 28, but it feels far lighter than a 70-pound bow should. The Hoyt Axius Alpha, the Bowtech Revolt in comfort setting, and the Mathews VXR 28 were not at all far behind the PSE, and the Prime Black 3 and the Bowtech in performance setting were a little bit stiffer, but still relatively close. Again, none of these are what you'd call pure speed bows, so the draw cycle is pretty good all around, but these are the rankings as I see them. The next category is stability and accuracy, and this one was a difficult one for me to kind of choose a winner with. I did a lot of group testing with these bows at a variety of distances, and there was really a couple that stood apart from the rest. But if I have to pick a winner, I'm probably going to go with the Mathews VXR 28 just by a smidge over the Bowtech Revolt and the Prime Black 3. It is a super close comparison. Now, none of this is to say that the Hoyt Axius Alpha or the PSE EVO NXT 33 are in any way lesser than. These are just the 3 bows that I kind of felt like I shot just a smidge better than the rest. But if I'm being brutally honest, the deer are not going to notice. Up next is grip, and once upon a time, I had major problems with the grips of a couple of the big manufacturers. Fortunately, that is no longer the case. All of these bows fit my hand very well. If I'm going to pick a winner, I'm going to go with the Bowtech Revolt, which uses that clutch performance grip. That's a modular grip system. It fits my hand super well. Very flat on the front, very narrow like a target grip. I really like it. I would put the Prime Black 3 and the PSE EVO NXT, if you take off the rubber grip and shoot off the riser, just behind the Bowtech. They're right there. The next category up is going to be tunability, and for me, this one probably has the clearest winner of any of the bunch, and that is going to be the Bowtech Revolt, thanks to the deadlock cam system. This, in my opinion, is the smartest tuning technology in the industry. It allows you, the user, to move the cams left and right along the axle with nothing but an Allen key. Could not be simpler to use. You don't need a bow press, you don't need a bow vise, you don't need to go to a bow shop. It is all easy to use, and you can do it right on the shooting line. It could not be any simpler. And if I'm being honest, I didn't really have any great trouble tuning any of these bows. I had a bit of a pesky vertical tear with the Hoyt that I managed to move, get out of there with rest and D-loop adjustments. But beyond that, everything was pretty good to go. I probably prefer the Hoyt setup next with the yoke cables. I just find those easy to make left and right adjustments. But Prime's got the cable guard system, and the other bows all have options to help you kind of get your tears out as you see fit, but those are the ones that kind of stand out better to me. As always, the easiest category for me to pick a winner in is speed, as I just let the chronograph do all the work for me. And this year the fastest bow that I tested was the VXR 28 from Mathews. With 70 pounds of draw weight and 30 1/4 inches of draw length, I shot a 350 grain gold tip platinum pierce arrow at 327 feet per second. But it's worth noting that all 5 bows were within 6 feet a second of each other. That is absolutely incredible, and extra credit here is going to go to the PSE. That bow had an advertised speed of 322 feet per second, but I tested it at 1 foot a second faster than that. That is almost unheard of in my experience. I've been testing bows for a number of years with chronographs, and to have one actually finish above its advertised speed is exceptional. So good kudos to PSE for doing that, and they finished right in the thick of things with bows that had rated speeds of 20 feet per second faster. The next category is going to be fit and finish, and this realistically is the most subjective of any of the categories we're going to look at, and I'm going to give the top marks this year to the Prime Black 3. There is not a flaw to be found on this bow after many months of shooting, and the grizzly brown color is stunning in person. Up next for me is the PSE EVO NXT 33. For me, this is the best looking PSE hunting bow I've ever seen. The color is great and the bow is flawless. The Mathews VXR 28 is right there with the PSE for me, as I love the ambush green color and have long been a fan of Mathews' long riser bow designs. But I wouldn't argue with you if you put the Bowtech in this spot either. The only bow that gave me some pause in this category is the Hoyt Axius Alpha, as there is some visible camo fading in the riser cutouts. However, this was a demo bow before I received it, and I have no idea how many people were handling it or how it was treated, so I'm inclined to give Hoyt a bit of a pass on this one. The final category is going to be price and value, and it's a bit of a tough one this year as all 5 bows are within $100 of each other. I'm inclined to give top marks to the Prime Black 3, mainly because you get those free replacement strings every 2 years as long as you own the bow. You also get a free 6-month dealer tune-up. That's a great value. It could also be argued that the Bowtech with that deadlock cam system tuning technology is well worth that extra $100 you're going to pay for retail. And the Mathews has also got some great tuning tech with a top hat system and that engaged grip with the dovetail style mount. There's really not a wrong choice to make here as far as value goes, because the prices are all so close. Now it's time for me to wrap things up by actually picking a winner. In other words, which bow would I spend my own money on to go and shoot in the woods this year? And truth be told, I would happily take any of these bows out hunting. They're all perfectly accurate. They're all flagship level hunting bows. But you're going to be pretty disappointed in me if I don't actually choose something. So with my money, I would actually pick the Bowtech Revolt. And largely the thanks is going to go to that deadlock cam system. It's the smartest tuning system I've ever seen. Being able to go to hunt camp and not need a bow press if you have to make an adjustment or a change on your bow, that's a huge deal. It's an excellent tuning technology, and I know Elite's got something I'd like to test out at some point, which has a similar theory. It operates in a slightly different way, but I love seeing advancements like that in archery, and I think that's enough to give the Bowtech Revolt the nod for me. However, if you were to hand any of these bows out to me for hunting this year, I have no doubt I can shoot a deer with any of them, and many other bows I haven't been testing this year. The bottom line is the archery community, the archery manufacturers are making fantastic bows now, and we consumers are lucky enough to have it. So go visit your local archery dealer, try out as many bows as you can there, and pick the one that fits you best. Thanks so much for watching Archery Talk. Again, please do like, share, and subscribe. It'll help the channel an awful lot, and we'll see you again soon.